I got to give Triple D a special Power Hour welcome. Spencer Israel doesn't do this for him, so I'm going to step in, okay?
Yeah, Spencer Israel, yeah.
All right. All day we've wanted Dennis Dick on the stream, and he's here.
What's up?
All day. I reached out. We had Spencer reached out, and then Spencer said he's with his kids. He's with Spencer, but I'm like, Spencer, you are Spencer. He's like, no, it's kid Spencer. I'm like, okay, Spencer, don't confuse us. And then Spencer Israel, your name is no longer Spencer Israel. We're gonna call you. I don't know. We have a new name for Spencer Israel. We got to think of it. Anyway, we're here.
Anti-vaxxing Spencer.
Anti-vaccine Spencer. There you go. So what's up, man?
It looks like I feel like I've been on like this 3-day bender here. I am like, so they started 4 a.m. That's when I start. I actually starts before 4 a.m. because I have to get ready for the 4 a.m. open. Yes, the stock market opens at 4 a.m. for stocks. It doesn't open at 7. Some retail brokers are 7. Market's 9:30 for regulars. It's 4 a.m. That's when ARCA and SDQ opens. So you got to get ready for that. So you got to get up at 3:30. So you get up at 3:30 in the morning and you're seeing what's going on. And you're like, okay. And then obviously get hit with it. And I losing track of days here, but I think today was the GME sell-off the night before, but then the rally early in the morning, and then they got hit with the news of obviously the Robinhood stuff, and they slammed it down. So it's been a wild ride. I'm trading Reddit stocks versus non-Reddit stocks. I got all new relationships. Everything I'm doing has been turned over. I'm scared to short stocks. It's all interesting.
I'm not shorting anything right now. I'm scared.
Stocks, but it's tough. I'm not going because I'll do mid caps, I'll do small caps if something's going. If there's news, if there's a reason for being short a stock, I will short a stock. Sometimes that reason is just I think it's the move's getting overdone. Right now, I don't short stocks when the move's getting overdone. I don't want to get burned. I'll short Apple. I'll short Amazon. I'm not shorting some little mid cap with a $500 million market cap. Not right now.
Yeah, and for
over. So they're rewriting the rule book for prop traders right now. They're rewriting.
Yeah.
So background, if you don't know me, you probably know me, but right trading, been a prop trader for 21 years. I've probably executed over, way over 1 million physical short trades. So I know how to short stocks.
Yes.
I make money shorting stocks. A lot more money making money shorting stocks than not shorting stocks. And you know what? Hey, shorts are not evil. We are not evil. We're just keeping prices in line.
There we go. If you don't know Dennis or Triple D Trader, if there was one person in the world that I had to trust my money to trade it would be Dennis. I mean, seriously, the real deal. But Dennis, like some of these crazy moves that we've been seeing have been happening in the early pre-market. I know you're trading those markets.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you enter those days? How do you make decisions in those days? They're thin. They're moving 100%. I mean,
yeah. Right now, like I said, the playbook is different, so it's kind of like learning as I go. It's when you trade 21 years, you feel like you've seen it all before, and this is awesome because I've never seen this before. I'm seeing something, and I'm taking it back. I started in 1996, so I started professionally in 1999, but I traded the ridiculous tech run-up before the dot-com burst. So I had 4 years of retail trading before I went prop in 1999, and I can tell you, unless you know my memory, I got that goldfish memory sometimes 6 seconds, but unless my memory, I cannot remember organized short squeezes like this. I cannot remember this. I cannot remember being scared to short a stock because I don't want to get caught in the next GameStop. I don't want to get caught in the next Reddit stock that they're trying to run over. So, I mean, you've got to be careful right now. So what do? Yeah, I'm careful on the shorts. But I'm relationship based. So I'm not a technical trader. I'm not really a fundamental trader. I'm a fundamental investor. I use the technicals to maybe time some moves. But I'm a headline guy and I'm a relationship guy. So relationships are all out the window, my old relationships, and I brought in all new relationships in the last 3 days. It's all new relationships. You see that headline on GameStop? I miss GameStop, and it starts going up. GameStop starts ripping. Stocks like Clorox, stocks like iRobot, stocks like Bed Bath & Beyond is an obvious one, but there's a list of like 100 of these things. that are all trading following GameStop. It's messed up. And you know what? It's going to stick around for a while like that. Like, I mean, Kroger. What does Kroger have to do with GameStop right now? What does it have to do with it? I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of short interest in there. I never even bothered looking, but I can tell you right now, there was a relationship between GameStop and Kroger. And that relationship is not just me exploiting. I can see the algos are running on it too now. So they've already figured it out too. They figured it out pretty quick. So you see stocks, you know, you've got to know what those relationships are. And the relationships right now have all changed. So kind of just learning as I go here.
All right. Luke, I have to ask Dennis a couple questions. It's really important, okay?
If his wife's mad about the new relationships? No, just kidding. Keep going.
My wife's just mad because I'm trading 16 hours a day right now, trying to squeeze in a little bit of time for the kids, but
all right, Luke,
it's tough markets right now. It's busy.
I gotta ask Dennis some questions. Like, I'm gonna ask I'm gonna reverse my questions. All right, my first question is this. So today, we broke the news. Benzinga broke the news when Apex allowed trading back in those stocks. We did it on our Benzinga Pro feed, and Benzinga Pro first, and then we did it to our Twitter. Our Twitter thing had like 12,000 retweets, okay? But I'm bringing this up for a reason. And yes, I'm tooting our horn for breaking it, but that's not why I'm bringing it up. The reason I am is, so they allowed buying of those stocks again. So Webull, Public, whoever uses Apex was allowed to trade again, okay? And buy those stocks. So to me, at that moment, the most obvious trade was to go buy AMC, to go buy GameStop, because it was going to get around to everyone else so they can buy the stock again. And they're going to, then that means Robinhood's going to have to open it up. So to me, and I'm not a prop trader, so I don't like know how to do all that. So I announced it. I saw the press, but I didn't buy it right away because I wanted everyone else to see it. I waited like 20 minutes, and then I bought some AMC. Not a lot, just a little bit, because I thought, okay. And I said I was going to buy, you know. So so my question to you is, was that an obvious trade to do right when they allowed it? Is that, or is it not because then people are like, they're going to close it again? Or was it just like, I mean, I didn't go crazy, and I should have, is what I think. And that's why I want to ask you.
Trading on those headlines, that's just a headline. That's a public headline that, you know, is now broken. It's public information. And that is an obvious trade. And I grabbed some I grabbed on that, you know, shortly after, because I wasn't that quick on it either. But you start seeing GameStop rip. I'm like, oh, here we go. You know, I don't even need to know the headline. I just see GME. It's my full indicator right now, so I don't even need the headline because the algos are all over it. So they're trading off a millisecond. So once I see GameStop start ripping, I'm like, here we go. Let's go BlackBerry. Let's go Bed Bath & Beyond. Let's grab the obvious ones. You miss those, then you go to the not so obvious ones. You can go to like the iRobot. You know, you can go to, you know, there's literally a list. Just go, you know, go to that high short interest list there. There's like 60 of them. They're all trading together. So you just start grabbing those and you flip them out for a quick flip, or, you know, you think it's something bigger, hold on. But there was another headline that broke after hours on that too, because I traded all those stocks again right after 4 o'clock. I can't remember what the headline was, but was it that Robinhood was going to allow some stocks to be traded tomorrow, right? I think that broke right after 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
That they haven't said exactly what they were going to do, but it broke that they were going to allow some of it. Because then I did the same thing. I'm like, okay, GameStop's ripping. Here we go again. Let's go grab our, you know, maybe I pick on BlackBerry because I'm Canadian. I like to give the Canadians some love here.
Shout out
Double
BlackBerry.
B. I'm like, let's go. It's BlackBerry time. It's Bed Bath & Beyond time. It's EXPR time. For some reason, they started selling costs off on this, KOSS. And I'm like, what's going on? Why is that one going down? So I actually could have bought that at 40, but the offer wouldn't move. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm missing something here. So I laid off that one, and it was a huge mistake because it went up to like $67 like 20 minutes later. So, I mean, there's opportunities here. And all I'm doing is using GameStop as my leader. So I don't care about really, you know, I don't need to know details of anything. I really just need to see GameStop and using that as a leader to trade these other stocks right now.
But Dennis, let me ask you this.
Luke, hold. I had one more. That was my one, and I had one more. Luke. Okay. No, Dennis, I had one more than you, Luke, and then it's you the rest, okay? Well, I'm only taking 2 questions, okay? I swear. No, I swear. So, Dennis, last week, when I came, so guys, Dennis hosts a show called PreMarket Prep from 8 in the morning to 9 a.m. He'll be on if he can be. I don't know, tomorrow may be a crazy
I'll
day.
be
But
there.
he'll be on 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And so it's benzinga.com/premarket or PreMarket Prep. You'll figure it out. Okay, you got to listen to it. It's must-listen TV. Must listen. If you're not at PreMarket Prep tomorrow, you're missing out and you're screwing up, okay? I'll tell you that for a fact. But Dennis, we talked about AMC. And at the time, you're like, this is before they got the money, okay? At the time, you're like, this company has nothing there. It could be insolvent, right? And so in all reality, it could have been. And then this thing happens. And so basically, a group of investors give a company a new lifeline, and it's a new day. Is that basically what it is?
I think it was going to go even without that, because they were starting to just grab anything with high short interest. I think that helped because it gives more confidence. I know Chris Camilo grabbed 100,000 shares of that thing. That's like unbelievable. And even more props. I gave him props on the pre-market prep show. He said he's going to donate the entire thing to charity. He made $1.5 million on it in one day, and he says he's giving it all to charity, which is unbelievable. If I made $1.5 million, I don't think I would give it all to charity. But that's Chris. That was a great call. But I mean, I think all these stocks were going to go. They were just looking for anything with high short interest. If you go to that list, Jason, and you go, it's like, we have a list on Benzinga Pro 2 of this, but, what I was just looking at is like high short interest. I think it's .com. It's a quick list. It's a quick, easy list. The site was so busy, it was actually down for a while. Like people were going there so much. Yeah, you go Finvit, you can get all this stuff. You can get it on Pro 2. You can get this information. But if you go through the list, I mean, you're at a point where what didn't go on that list? I mean, GameStop was the obvious one, 138%, but Space was number 2 at 81%. We know that thing ripped. I'm still long Space. I was long it way before this, long for the story. I held through the whole thing. Obviously, maybe I should have sold it 2 days ago, but I held through the whole thing. I still like the story. AMC's third on the list. Then you had Bed Bath & Beyond, and then you had LGND. All these stocks went up 20, 30, 40%. So, AMC went up more because of $4 stock. So people could just load up on the calls. You got people loading calls, and then they get exposure to big stock, and that can equal some big moves. Fubo was number 6 on the list, 62%. We know it went. SunPower, I own SunPower. I've had it in my portfolio since $8. I've still got it in there. I probably should get rid of it because it's getting just silly now, but I did lighten the position up the other day. Tanger Outlets, I was in that one. I played that one for about $4, and I'm like, okay, I'm out of that one now. Tootsie Roll is a great one. I mean, you got Tootsie
Let's
Roll.
go.
Tootsie Roll, Tootsie Roll pops, right here. That's what it does. It's like the pop. $30, a stock that moves, if you bring up the long-term chart, a stock that has moved in a 10-point range for basically a decade, all of a sudden goes from $30 to almost $60 in 3 days. That is nothing short of incredible. That's a more impressive move than the AMC move, I think, just because it's like Tootsie Roll. Who expected? What the hell is Tootsie Roll doing with a short interest of 45%? Who's short Tootsie Roll? What are they doing, man?
It's un-American, it's un-Canadian to short that stock.
Yeah, you know what? If it's short, maybe that one is. That's the un-American one to short is Tootsie Roll. Who doesn't like Tootsie Roll pops? My kids love them. Anyway, so maybe they get what they deserve on that one. But it gets to $58, and now obviously it's come back in. And I've played it a couple times in here, but it's a thin one. It's like been trading with dollar spreads, so it's a little thin. Go, another one on the list. I was in that one. I played it for a little bit. Clovis Oncology. I was in all these. I've been playing all these because they're all moving together. So, and again, I'm trading them all right now. RKT is moving around with it because the short interest got the big pop. I sold into the pop. I actually bought some more yesterday back, but then I've sold it. And now that it's come back down, I don't know if I'll try to reload again. But I mean, right now, the whipsaws, the fade trade's working on these things too. Like AMC goes 20, it goes from 5 to 25, then back down to 12, then back to 20, then back down to 12, then back up to 18. Like that's what it did in the last 3 days. Then it went back down, and today they massacre them all, way overshoot. They go all the way down to $6, and now it's 11. It closes at 11 after hours. So wild swings. The fade trade actually working on this because it seems like they get a positive headline, the Reddit stocks, and a negative headline. Then a positive headline, then a negative headline. So you know what? Just, I'm playing the buy the dip and sell the rip on some of these stocks too, using GME as my indicator.
And Dennis,
I love that you talk about using GME as your indicator. Like you're letting that lead
It's
the
the only
chart.
thing. It's the Jason. It's the indicator for the entire market right now. I went short SPY tonight because GME was ripping. I went short the SPY. Who in the hell? How is S&P?
Yeah.
How it's messed right up to think a week ago. If you said I was going to short SPY because GameStop was ripping, yeah, you'd say that's stupid. That's not possible. I would tell you right now, SPY went down 2 points tonight because GameStop was ripping. Because they're worried that's going to blow out some other hedge funds, and then they're going to have to sell their long book, and they're full of longs. So, I mean, they got to get out of those stocks. So it not only affects all these Reddit stocks, it affects all the non-Reddit stocks. It affects all the big caps. Microsoft sells off on its earnings, and it was a great report, but sells off significantly because hedge funds were raising capital because they were getting nailed. So they had to sell some of their long book. And I'm sure Microsoft is in there. Let's raise some capital and some stable names that we can get the hell out of. So that was yesterday's sell-off. Today's rally was the relief rally from the GameStop Robinhood ban. So that's what today was. It was probably a selling opportunity overall, though, because I don't think this is done. I don't think the Reddit traders are done here. I think, like even if they're, banned from this or they ban them from Fidelity and they start taking it further on these stocks, they're going to find other stocks. I don't think it's going away right anytime soon. So the rules of the game have changed. And as a trader, I live making money on the short side. Right now, I've backed off on the short side. You've got to adjust. You've got to adjust to your market environment. The market environment we're in right now is crazy town, but there are relationships that have formed. And I will exploit those relationships when I discover them. If I discover them before somebody else, I'm going to make more money on those relationships. Eventually, everybody knows, and everybody is starting to realize that, hey, the SPY, the S&P futures, are negatively correlated with GameStop right now. So there's money to be made there.
Yes. And Dennis, you have the chat so electric right now. You got me fired up again, too. We were getting sleepy. I was getting sleepy. The chat was getting sleepy. You got us fired up,
You're
baby.
getting sleepy, Luke.
We're ready to go.
It's 3:30 in the morning. I'm still wired. I don't even drink
You
coffee.
are wired, baby. I love it.
I need to go to bed, but I don't even know. I got the adrenaline going here, and the Leafs are playing the Oilers. I don't even know what's happened to the hockey game, but hockey's taking second. I don't usually miss my hockey game, but I might have to sleep through it. But it's been a crazy couple of days, and I'm sure all your other traders out there are having crazy days too. But you know what? Through all this, I have not made one trade on GameStop. I've had it on my screen nonstop. I'm watching it nonstop, but I have not made one trade on GameStop because I'm not a big fan of trading my indicator or my leader. I'm a big fan of trading what does that mean for something else. So I know right now when GameStop starts ripping, I got Bed Bath & Beyond going to go. I got AMC going to go. I've got Double B going to go. So, I just got to know those relationships and then extract the alpha from the inefficiency of the traders who aren't, cognizant to that relationship yet.
All right, and Dennis, you're the smartest one I know, so I have to ask you about these two catalysts. It's true, I'm not.
I feel stupid right now, Luke.
All right,
I feel pretty dumb.
well, two potential catalysts. I want your take on them for GME slash all these stocks tomorrow. You got options expiration, then you also have the weekend with shorts potentially wanting to close those out. Impact that has. Thoughts?
You know what? I've been trying to think about the impact of this to a certain extent. Like, obviously, you're long the calls. You got people who are sitting along a pile of calls because they bought them for next to nothing. On a lot of these stocks, you probably got, the weeklies maybe expiring. I don't know if AMC has weeklies. I'm pretty sure it does. I never looked at those, but they definitely are expiring on GameStop. So you're sitting with a pile of calls. Are you going to be able to? You can't. The way I do it as a market maker, when I used to trade options, I don't trade options very much anymore. But when I used to do it, I'm going to short the stock against those. I don't know. I've kind of moved to equities more. It's what I don't know. I just evolved. I used to trade a lot of options like 15 years ago. I still nibble. I still understand the dynamics to it, but I've always kind of been like an equities guy more than an options guy maybe it's because I'm prop and I don't need the leverage too. So, if you're sitting with a $50,000 account, you love options because it gives you power, it gives you leverage, it gives you more exposure. I mean, if I want to buy 500 grand worth of stock, I got money to do it. So I've got prop money, I got bright trading money behind me. So I don't need the leverage. So, I mean, I do play, the small, like outside, calls. Like if I used to just run a scan for nickel options or 2 cent options or 1 cent options. They used to always be nickels back in the day, but then they let them reprice to 1 cent. I used to just run a scanner for 1 cent options with like a day to go and say, hey, could that happen? And then you go buy like a couple hundred contracts for like a couple $100. And, and I can remember 90% of these things expire worthless, like gone. But I had one I bought for a nickel. I went to like $10.
Oh my God.
And yeah, it was on like, it was some news. There was something, but it was like, there was something happening the day before that. And I was like, oh, this could affect this. And then news came on it and it just hit. And it was like, I took like a $200 investment or whatever into like, I don't know what the hell it was, 20, 30,000 or something stupid. So, and I can't remember. It was big bucks. But I mean, I lost a lot of 200s in there too. So I don't even know if I made money on that strategy overall. But
that's like my Tesla trade, 1,000 to 3, like those.
Yeah, the options can really, they're nice when you hit them right, but most of them expire worthless. I feel like it's like the lottery ticket analogy. It really is. I mean, when you're buying options, buy little lottery tickets. And you know what though? Like the lottery tickets were paying some money here on GameStop and AMC. Now they're not because the premiums are too jacked. But before all this stuff started, there's some people made a lot of money on options. But to your original question, how do you work out of this? So if you're sitting there, in GameStop with, exposure, you got 100 calls, so you're sitting there with exposure, to 10,000 shares. How are you working out of that? The bid on this stupid thing is two points wide, and it's 200 by 200, and you can't short the stock. So the market makers got to really give you a wide quote. They're going to give you a brutal quote. So you're probably going to have to dump into intrinsic value even to get the hell to liquidate that thing. So you got to just ease yourself out of that. So the implications of all that, like people are saying, the market makers screwed on this. I think your market makers are probably hedged up, a lot of them by now. If they're not, they're probably in margin calls. But it's going to be interesting to see the illiquidity. It's a very illiquid instrument, GME right now, and there's some major volume to come in for people, and you can't short the stock against it. So because you can't get a borrow, and even if you can get a borrow, they're not going to maybe let you do it. So, I mean, like a retail broker, they'll let you exit the calls, but they're not going to say, hey, I'm on the calls. Let me short my stock against my calls to get out that way. And they're not going to let you do that. So it's going to be very interesting. I think some people are going to, have some major slippage trying to work out of these option positions.
Yep. Yeah. Tomorrow is going to be probably one of the most interesting days in the markets. Like, I don't want to see.
It's going to be some big volatility. Because you get a big option seller coming in there, then somebody's going to the open market on the stock to hedge themselves out too. So there could be some option sellers coming in. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting day from that dynamic. The last, 10, 15 minutes of GME is going to be wild.
Yeah, it's going to be.
But I've written this stock off multiple times. I mean, when it went from 159 down to 61, I was like, oh, the bubble burst. This is over. And then the next day it comes back. And then the next day it goes to 350. And I'm like, okay, well, then it sold off, today. And it went from 450 down to 100. Well, it went to 311 after hours. So I've learned one thing is you can never write this stock off just when you think it's over. Like the bubble officially popped, it hasn't popped. So could this thing go to 1,000? It could go anywhere. It's still
Dennis,
good.
I mean, me and Luke, we had Citron on, and then Wall Street Bets came on. And they basically pressured Luke and I into buying shares eventually because of the Chewy CEO, what's his name? Not CEO, the board member, Ryan Cohen. And I was like, oh God, I had to buy it. And and you saw what it went to. I mean, he's made like $30,000 by buying it. So
that's huge. I mean, I wish I would. I said it on the pre-market prep show that morning. I said, take away and don't, we were just looking at the charts and just using classic technical analysis when the stock was 40. And we had talked about, because, Citron, the short, I was like, take away take away the fundamentals and don't look at GameStop. Look at the chart. I'm like, if you go back and look, you said on the show, this was when it was 42. I'm like, this looks like it's ready to break out. I'm like, this looks like it's ready to go. And I'm like, I said, I even put out a poll the night before. I was like, I think this is going to make a new all-time high. And that was $62, the old all-time high. And that was when it was 40. I didn't buy any. I should have participated in it, but I was like, I didn't buy any of it. You know,
Dennis,
I should have.
You held me, Dennis. I didn't buy AMC at first, like at 280, because I listened to you and like you made logical sense.
I thought it was a
Come
zero.
on, you can't bring him on at 10 p.m. and then give him shit.
Yeah.
about
No.
your decision.
Call me out on my bad call.
No,
I still think it's a zero.
Oh,
Wait, hold
Jesus.
on.
But I don't know
Dennis.
how it's getting there.
Dennis, the thing with you is you don't like. You said then it was bad, but then you changed when the markets changed. You know, when the markets change, you change. I didn't, by the way, I didn't have any insight. I didn't buy. Hold on, I didn't buy AMC then because there wasn't necessarily a reason to buy it. Like it could have been it could have been what Dennis said. The markets changed then. They changed a day or two later, so it wasn't a bad call. It was the logical call then. And then when the markets changed, Dennis changes. Yeah. That's why he's a great trader. That's why he can go long and short. He goes with the markets. He does, and he pays attention to it. So that was actually a good call. My point is, I'm the kind of guy that will sometimes buy those companies at $2. They'll go bankrupt. And so you look at the markets doing. To me, I think AMC is going to open up strong tomorrow. I think GameStop is.
Oh, it's at 11.
Brent wants me to ask
on the close. So it's probably going to open up strong because of this. It depends if we get another headline, but with the Robinhood headline, closed at 863, it closed on the after hours 1129. So it's already up like 30% after hours.
Brent, Dennis, this will be the last question because it's almost 11. Brent wants me to ask. Brent wants me to ask you one question. Do you think that going into the weekend, will the retail traders, the Wall Street bets, will they gather power and get this weekend to like brainstorm and then come really strong on Monday, or is it going to fade out at all? I think that's what Brent.
No, I don't think it's fading out. I'm very, I joined that Reddit thread. I mean, I went and joined just to read what the hell they're talking about because I'm like, I got to know. You got to know. I can't get run over, especially because I short stocks. I can't, I start seeing them talk about a stock I'm short, I'm going to cover it. I mean, I got to, first is protect your capital. So I got to know what they're talking about. They're not going away anytime soon. And I mean, I've, taken a lot of heat because, I've said, some things like, and I'm just saying that GameStop isn't worth $400. It's not worth $300. Eventually, I think it crashes and burns, but I don't know the path to get there. I don't know if it's going to 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000. I mean, I was, there for the flash crash day, and everybody thinks of all the stocks that went to zero. Do you know where Apple went that day? Do you know what Apple ticked on the flash crash? $100,000 a share. It had $100,000 a share. Apple. They busted that trade, but the liquidity vanished on both sides, and there was just a few buyers. Apple ticked $100,000 a share. It was trading like 100. It ticked 100,000. 100,000. It hit a stub quote. That's a stub quote from a market maker. That's not at the post, and they're just 1 penny to 100,000 because they got to make a market at all times. So if the market maker leaves, they just post that out there. That literally traded $100,000 a share. They busted it, but that traded. That's when the market broke. The market broke during May 6, 2010, but it only broke for a matter of a few minutes. This GameStop, the market pricing function has now broken for multiple days. So what does that mean? When you have no shorts to control price, when you have, now, you're getting regulation where the brokers are coming in stopping people from buying it. You've got, obviously a lot of people talking and, I don't know if it's collusion or what is happening over there with Reddit, what you want to call it, but, they're talking up the stocks. So, I mean, there's a lot of things going on, and the market structure around it is broken on those stocks because you don't have traders like me saying it is illogical, because we watched what happened to Andrew Left with the logical fundamental analysis saying, it's, illogical for GameStop to be $40 when this is teetering on bankruptcy. Well, it goes to 400 because, all the other shorts are spooked out of there too. So nobody's coming in here and shorting the stock to keep the price in line. So it's Tilray again. It's flash crash day again for this, where the price is just nuts. So it's going around, and it's algorithmic driven. I mean, your last guest was saying it's not retail. This isn't retail. Retail started the fire, sure. But retail isn't keep throwing logs on the fire. It's algos. That you watch that thing trade, how fast it's going? That is all algorithmic trading in there now too. So there's hedge funds in there. There's prop traders in there. There's retail, a little bit of retail in there, but don't kid yourself. GameStop ain't doing 58 million shares, and it's all a Reddit thread doing that. There is algorithmic trading that is all over this now. They're all over the relationships that I'm talking about. They're all over. So all of that impacts price. But when you put no shorts out there, it impacts price a lot more. And don't kid yourself. There's other funds out there that know Melvin Capital's in trouble, and they would jacket on it too. They're like, let's go.
Rip them out of there.
Go.
Kill the competition. Get those investors.
Well, I mean, that happens. This is a dirty industry, and I've been in this for a long time, and I respect, there's a lot of prop firms, though. There's a lot of prop traders doing a lot of different things that we don't even know about. There's people thinking of stuff that I haven't thought of, and they're doing different things, too. But, I mean, this short squeeze thing was obvious. It was obvious after they did it on GME, and then it was obvious. I didn't think they could jack AMC like they did. Somebody asked me that. Could this be the next one? I was like, I think it's too thick. But I was wrong. I did not think they had that kind of power.
I mean, dude, they did it on BlackBerry. I mean, they did it on a lot of decent stocks.
Yeah, well, BlackBerry, we kind of had a feel for that one. I took a good bulk of that BlackBerry move. I was in that one fairly early. I kind of
there we go. Love it.
The technicals were set up on it. I bought the thing back when it was still. The technicals were set up on that one. So that was a good one. I'm actually still in a piece. And I'm like, I need to get the hell out. I missed the top for sure on the last bet. But I got greedy. You get like maybe this one's gonna go to $100 or $200. I got greedy, so I held on to a piece, and obviously it's way down from there. So it looks like the top in the BlackBerries, and I got to sell the rallies into it now. But I've still got a piece, but I've sold the majority of the position. But I forget what we were talking about originally, though. But yeah, so it's a lot of prop traders. Yeah, there's a lot of different, stuff going on that we don't know about. But it isn't just all Reddit. Reddit lit the fire. Where are they going to light the next fire? I mean, you got to pay attention to that. And I'm just trading relationships. Like, that's where I'm looking. If they're going to start squeezing, everything's got a short interest in it, well, I'll buy those stocks too. I mean, I'll participate in this. That's as a trader, I've got to adjust. Normally, I'd be shorting those stocks. I'm like, it's got a 35% short interest? Hell no, I'm not shorting that. Maybe I'll turn around and buy it. So, I mean, it's just the market it is. That's what the market is right now. It's all together screwed up, but you've got to identify those opportunities as a trader and do your best. And, my first instincts is to not get run over in these stocks. If I can make some money trading them, that's good too. But I'm the natural person. I mean, we're prop firm. I'm the natural person that would get run over by a short squeeze like this. So, identifying that early saves me money. So first thing, save yourself money, because your core strategies would be losing strategies right now. Like Andrew left short in GameStop at 42. I'd participate in something like that if I thought, that it was way overvalued. And obviously, I'm going to watch the technicals and try to get a setup there. But I think the technicals weren't in line for him on that, though. That's why I was talking about that day. I was like, this looks like it's setting up for a breakout, though. So it looks like it wants to go. And now you're publicly saying you're shorted, and you got this forum that's saying they want to screw you. The ducks were kind of in a row for a short squeeze there, and they squeezed it.
They squeezed it. There we go. I mean, that is the market we are in. Stuff is moving. We're flying.
Dennis, thank you for coming on. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., be there or be square. It's the best pre-market show in the fucking world, and I can swear in this show because Joel is not here.
We don't allow swearing.
Did you hear me today? Fucking universe.
Did you hear me today? I said the F word. I intentionally said it for like the first time in like 10 years. I said it when we first started the show like 7 years ago. I slipped up. I said it intentionally today. You got to go find the tape.
Oh, I call myself. Wait, did Joel go crazy?
I won't say it again, but I call myself, and like everybody's saying how short selling is evil. I was like, I short stocks, and I was like, I'm that effing evil short seller because I short stocks. You know what? I feel like I provide a service to the market in the form of liquidity, and that's what shorts do. Like, people don't understand. I get this all the time. Why do we have people short stocks? Why should this be legal? What's going on?
What's up, Stacy? Yeah, Dennis. Dennis, if you're ever pissed off, you want to drop some F-bombs, come on our show at 12.
Drop F-bombs all
we're like, F this, F that, this is bullshit, so that's
pretty much
what it is.
Bullshit to call. I don't have any problem calling out, some of the hedge funds and the Citadels, but don't call out the short sellers and say that all short. You got Elon Musk tweet now how short selling is basically evil. You know, he's not. And the funny thing with that tweet, did you see that tweet he tweeted today? Did you see the tweet?
Yeah.
What did he say? No, I didn't see it.
Let's find the tweet. I gotta find the tweet. I don't want to butcher it here, so I'm gonna find it. I'm going to find the tweet right now. Elon Musk tweets out. Where is it? It's way down. Okay, he tweets
Tootsie
out.
Roll. Let's go.
Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll. You got that song going? All right.
We got copyright infringement on this too, Dennis. You ever need to swear? You need to do copyright infringements. This is your show, baby.
Do it all on this show. You can't. It's Elon Musk tweet. You can't sell houses you don't own. You can't sell cars you don't own, but you can sell stock you don't own. This is BS. Shorting is a scam. Legal only for, I don't even know what that word is, but
Covifi.
And then you look at that and you think, okay, you say you can't sell cars you don't own. What the hell does Tesla do? They sell cars you don't own. They've sold, and Jonathan Tepper tweeted this out. The supreme irony is that Elon has made a career of selling cars he doesn't own and hasn't made yet. He sold the Model 3 before it was made. He sold the Model Y, not delivered yet, the Roadster, the Cybertruck, the Semi.
The Cybertruck, yes.
Something we don't own, and that's what he's doing too. He's selling the cars he don't own. So Elon Musk, go fuck yourself. That's what I have to say. I said it.
Yes, there it is.
On the short selling, seriously though, short selling provides a service. These shenanigans, this crazy market you're seeing right now is because there's no shorting in there. If there's shorting in there, then the shorts weren't scared to death to be in there, the stocks wouldn't be going crazy like this. It would be controlled. So shorts provide the liquidity of the market to allow institutions to move money in and out. GameStop is very illiquid right now because there's no short selling in there. So I completely disagree with Elon Musk. I love you, Elon Musk, but on that statement, that's an attack on my business that provides liquidity to the market, and it's something you absolutely don't know what you're talking about. Elon Musk always knows what he's talking about. Stick to the cars, stick to the technology. Don't try to be a market maker, Elon Musk, because you don't know what you're doing.
Boom. Dennis Dick getting us wired, getting us fired back up, re-energized. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, we don't care what o'clock. All I know is we got 5.5 hours to kill until we reopen.
All right. I'm out.
All right.
I gotta go to bed. I gotta
Dennis.
sleep.